follow-up to Mr. Big Stuff was The Overweight Lover. You hear me when I say we was whopping all over the place? Now, if you don't know what the WAP is, I mean, you ain't old enough and you don't deserve to know, okay? But we was whopping all over the damn place, y'all. Oh, my God. You couldn't tell me shit because I'm not a dancer, but I could fucking whop. Love bugs. Hello, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, and subscribe because it is so important to my success here on the YouTube. And if you have not already joined our Bella Book Club, please remember to hit the Patreon link below, and for a small $5 monthly fee, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before YouTube gets it, if YouTube gets it. Now, let's talk about TVone's Unsung Heavy D. So anyway, I can't wait to talk about this because it takes me back to my college days, girl. But anyway, we ready. Okay, well, a little bit before college, but anyway, girl, we ready. The group started out with Heavy D, Trouble T. Roy, Eddie F., and G Wiz. They all know each other because they all are from Mount Vernon. Now, Mount Vernon is a place for competition, okay? Because a lot of celebrities came out of Mount Vernon. It was Diddy, Denzel, and they said Dickety Clarkety. Dick Clark, okay, from American Bandstand. And we know if it ain't a rich motherfucker out here that was alive during that time, we know Dickety Clarkety owned everything. You heard me? I didn't even know that Dickety Clarkety was in charge of the American Music Awards. I didn't know that. So anyway, Dwight Heavy D. Myers was the youngest of 6 children. The family, and this is synonymous with Jamaicans, it's also synonymous with us too, because I told you my mother will take in stray cats. But Heavy D would... or Heavy D's family was open to, helping out people in need. And that's what they did. That man, them Jamaicans are some bad motherfuckers, man. So like I was saying, Heavy D's family would embrace all, to include the other members, Glenn Parrish and Tony Dixon. Glenn's mother got married and headed to D.C., okay? Glenn didn't like it. I'm saying about Glenn, I didn't ran across a couple of New York dudes in the 80s. Did I ever run across you, Glenn? I don't know. I'm going to leave that alone. Okay. Glenn didn't like it. So he moved back to New York. And he ended up staying with his friend Troy, Trouble T. Roy. Now, Eddie F. from the South Side was already the man. Why? Because they would have concerts over there at the Bush Park. You know, the hip-hop concerts over there at the Bush Park, and Eddie F. was already there DJing, right? Now, dig this. Y'all, if y'all have never experienced anything in life, now, this is after the corona now. Don't run your ass out there to New York now. Please, okay. I'm begging y'all. If y'all have never experienced an outdoor hip-hop concert in New York, it is the greatest experience. It will take you right back in time. I went out there with one of my Judies. I think we was in the Bronx. I'm not sure where we were. I don't know. That's not my city, so I don't know where everything is. All I know, New York is just something exciting in itself. But anyway, getting to the point. If you have not experienced an outdoor concert of hip-hop in New York, baby, you better do it. Now, by high school, Eddie F. and Heavy D was already making noise together. They already was making a name for themselves. Eddie F. came up with the beat, okay? It was a bad beat, of course, because it wasn't nothing but a remake or something, because, they was remaking shit back then. They don't never use their own beats. Well, the new producers do now, but back then, them producers act like they was dumb and they couldn't, create their own beats or something. They came up with a beat that derived from Mr. Big Stuff. Not Heavy D's Mr. Big Stuff, but the real Mr. Big Stuff. Who do you think you are?
Who you are? Oh, yes you do. Do you think I can afford to give you my love? You think you're higher than every star above, Mr. Big Stuff. Tell me, who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff?
Came up with the beat, but they needed $2,000. Meaning him and Heavy D needed $2,000, right? Luckily, one of Heavy D's brothers said, oh, I just got my refund, my school tuition refund or something like that. I don't know. I didn't have to pay for school, college. I was fortunate. But some of y'all motherfuckers was getting extra money for your school tuition or whatever. So the big brother got, the big brother got his school refund. And it was $2,000. He gave it to his brother. They got their money, made their little demo, and ran it around there to Rush Management, okay? You know, Mr. Russell Simmons, okay? At the time, Andre Harrell was in charge of Rush Management, okay? Now, when they came through the door, they was like, okay, we need to see Russell Simmons because we got this song right here, right? Well, Andre Harrell was like, well, that nigga ain't hit, okay? Little did they know that Andre Harrell was planning on leaving Russell and getting his own company, Uptown. That's how Heavy D and the boys ended up with Uptown and not Rush Management. I mean, that to me was a better move anyway because Uptown Records ran the 90s, the early 90s. You heard me. The way that Andre Harrell looked at it was jackpot. I got me a winner here. This motherfucker is big. He's lovable. The ladies are going to want to squeeze him every night. Continue on with the story. Andre Harrell, oh, this nigga is feeling himself. He like, oh yeah, this is the winner. Okay? I loves this. He old big red dude. He about to make fat boys sexy, right? So Heavy D, what I need you to do, I need you to be the big red fat sexy dude in the front, and I need you to get 2 dancers in the back. Can you make this happen? Heavy D said, oh yeah, I can make this happen because I got my boy G Wiz and I got my boy Trouble TVone. Eddie F is still working on that beat, okay, but he don't know how to finish it, okay? So what ended up happening was he got with a Mr. Teddy Riley. We forget how bad Teddy Riley is. Teddy Riley is a Libra. That's a bad motherfucker. You hear me now? I told you all them Libra men's be weasels, but he is still a bad motherfucker. So they working on this song, Mr. Big Stuff, okay? I don't understand how you work on a song that's already, you know, made and is already a classic, but they did it. And Teddy Riley put that spit shine on it. Hence, Mr. Big Stuff. In 1987, Heavy D and the boys dropped the video, Mr. Big Stuff. Loved it. You heard me. Loved it. What I didn't know was that Pete Rock from Pete Rock and CL Smooth was actually Heavy D's cousin. Never knew that. So the follow-up to Mr. Big Stuff was The Overweight Lover. You hear me when I say we was whopping all over the place? Now, if you don't know what the WAP is, I mean, you ain't old enough and you don't deserve to know, okay? But we was whopping all over the damn place, y'all. Oh, my God. You couldn't tell me shit because I'm not a dancer, but I could fucking whop. Now, what they did say was that Heavy D made it possible for fat boys. Well, he didn't say this, but I mean, it's like an insinuation. But it was Heavy D made it possible for fat boys to get, you know, vagina suit. Okay, that's true. But you know, I'm an old money grubbing hoe from the '80s, so you mean you had to be fat and have money. Eddie F was the engine for Heavy D's and the boy. Okay, he kept everything in order and organized. So Glenn was the responsible one, so he was in charge of the dance moves and the looks. Trouble T. Roy was the glue, okay? Whenever there was an issue within the group, Trouble T. Roy was the resolver. He came up with the resolution. So he actually, you know, whenever there was a problem within the group, Trouble T. Roy was the solver. Also, what Andre Harrell said was that Heavy D was like the Mickey Mouse of Uptown. He was the face, he was the mascot of Uptown. I would agree. There came others after that, but Heavy D is what made us know who Uptown Records was. What in the peanut butter and jelly sandwich was this? What I would never guess, ever ever guess is that Heavy D surrounded himself with street dudes. Okay? Now, according to TVone, he had affiliation with street dudes. I never would think that because the two guys, Trouble T. Roy and G Wiz, seemed like such squares that I would never think that that was what Heavy D affiliated himself with outside of the music industry. Shit, I thought that Heavy D was a damn square. He was so big, fat, sexy, red Jamaican square. Okay, that's what I thought, and I was trying to get in the middle. Let me tell you about his character, Gemini. Us air signs, say what you want to about us, that we be crazy, we do crazy shit, but we are the peacemakers of this universe. So what he did was he employed a lot of street dudes, okay? He told the street dudes the rule, look, we about to go on tour. All of y'all about to have a job, and we all about to get this money, okay? All I ask you to do is to act right and don't kill nobody. They was on the road, and one of the street dudes was like, basically, we were treated just like we was in the group, you know? Like another guy said he had just gotten out of jail, and he said that he walked into this job with Heavy D, and you know, it was like a blessing to him. And then we had this other dude named Jamaican, what was his dude name? Oh, Jamaican Rick. Child, Jamaican Rick looked like he got some body somewhere. Jamaican Rick, blink, I don't know you, sir, but you like you got some body somewhere, but we gonna leave the past in the past. The thing about Heavy D, what the people who did the commentary on the show said was that Heavy D was the good guy. He was the one that didn't smoke, that didn't drink, you know, and whenever the dudes was out there cheating on their girls, he was the one to be like, man, why is you doing that? Why? What is wrong with you, bruh? You got a good woman at home. You know, he was a killjoy, but them niggas ain't give a fuck. We have the second album that was released in 1989. It's called Big Time, okay? And, I was in the 12th grade. I was so young and tender. But anyway, Eddie F. had started incorporating in that New Jack swing. Then when Teddy Riley put his own little zhuzh on it, you know, sprinkled his pixie dust on it, okay, they came up with We Got Our Own Thing. We got our own thing. Let it be. Could you imagine what that top piece would be like from Heavy D? That album was #1, okay? So they also had on there, I need somebody to love me for me. I love you for you. Not now. But in the 90s or the 80s, I would have loved him for him. Blink. 1990, the group prepared to go on tour with Public Enemy. Trouble T. Roy was preparing to be a father. On July 15th, 1990, at the Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, as a result of horseplay, Trouble T. Roy lost his life at 22. The city of Mount Vernon mourned. It still hurt us all outside, you know, who were Heavy D and the Boys fans. Even though, you know, it wasn't like Trouble T. Roy was in the forefront, it didn't matter because Heavy D and the Boys was a part of my life soundtrack. Pete Rock, Heavy D's cousin, like I said that the inspiration for CL Smooth's and Pete Rock's Reminisce Over You came from Trouble T. Roy. I had no idea that when they reminisce over you, spelled out Troy. No idea. Trouble T. Roy's death, G Wiz said that he went away, checked into a hotel, and just stayed there for a long while. Heavy D and Troy were best friends. So when Heavy D lost his friend, he wanted to stop everything. His mother intervened and said, listen, finish the album, son. Troy would have wanted you to. And Heavy D said, Ma, you know what? Troy's on a peaceful journey right now. Hence the name of the next album. So in 1991, the album Peaceful Journey was released. Okay? And it held that reggae remix song, Now That We Found Love. And it had old good hip hop swing to it. You know, that did very well. G Wiz said it was different without Troy but they had fun. Good. I'm glad that they can smile through their pain. Now, another banger, my favorite Heavy D song ever, Heavy D collab ever, one of the greatest collabs ever. If y'all don't know what it is, y'all need to Google it. Don't Curse. It had Kern Steffens' ugly ass baby father in it, Coogee Rap, Big Daddy Kane, Q-Tip. It had a whole bunch of stars, a whole bunch. Okay. And they all wasn't allowed to cuss in the song. Right now, Heavy D has 2 platinum albums under his belt.
Bring, bring. Hello, may I speak to Heavy D? This is Heavy. This is MJ. You know, Michael Jackson. Of course I know who you are, Mr. Jackson. I need you to do a verse on my song Jam.
So for all you new people, if you didn't know this, what used to happen back in the day was that R&B singers would pay hip-hop artists to be on their songs and do a little verse, okay? Just as hip-hop artists would pay R&B artists to sing hooks. That's what they used to do back in that day. These dumb motherfuckers don't do that no more. That's why R&B ain't hit no more. After Jam with Michael Jackson was released in 1992, Eddie F started going his way and doing his own thing on the side. He co-wrote the theme song for In Living Color. Do you know, I did not know, was he the DJ for In Living Color for a while? Before Sean got there? And he produced an album that held the only Tupac and Biggie collab. Yeah, Eddie F is a bad motherfucker. Anyway, come to find out that he and Teddy Riley did a lot of remixes together in the 90s. Now, if you don't know what a remix is, it's a way for you to do the same song, but you just work on a beat, okay? Same song. You have the same thing. You just zhuzh it up a little bit, okay? And then that way you can make money off the song twice. So he lost 2 brothers to drugs. One of them died in his arm. Another brother to gun violence. Heavy D is like, you know what? You can have this shit. Okay? And the 4th album was called Blue Funk. Y'all, I have no idea what that album sound like, what it looked like. I don't know. The boys are fading into the background, right? We only got one boy left to dance. That's not happening. Okay? That looks crazy. Okay? That looked like a church dedication, right? Then we got Eddie F. He's moving on and he's becoming a power producer. So the boys are sitting in limbo. They don't know what's going on. Then the following year, I Got Nothing But Love For You, Baby. You know that video with all the models in it? All the real models, not these IG hoes, not these big booty hoes, but real models, okay? Cynthia Bailey was in it. It was so many girls that was in it. I mean, real model girls. Not these IG hoes, not these twerking bitches, not them. I Got Nothing But Love went number 1 too on the R&B charts. Now, what was also profound about this episode was that the men who participated in the commentary talked about how Heavy D was not afraid to call him and say, I love you, brother. Okay? Once you have somebody you love pass, you know what I'm saying? Or suddenly, unexpectedly, for real, when you love somebody, you want to make sure you tell them that every day, every chance you got, because you never know when that will be your last day. And I thought that it was very, very profound for Heavy D to be that one to easily call his friends and say, hey, look, I love you, brother. 10 years has passed, okay? And G Wiz continues to work with Heavy D. Now, Eddie F is growing as a record executive and producer, okay? Eddie F had turned into a real big deal, okay? He was vice president for Motown, Uptown, and LaFace Records. Heavy D became an exec himself. He worked with the record companies to groom the Lost Boys, So For Real, and my lesbian sister, Monifa. I love you, Monifa. I love you. So Heavy D continues to make solo albums, but I never heard of any of them. Okay, I didn't. I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't know that he continues to make music. What I did know was that he was trying to get into the acting world, because I would see him on shows like Rock. Charles S. Dutton Show Rock, and Living Single. I thought that was his new zhuzh. And according to his mom, that is what he wanted to get into. I guess his heart was broken in regards to hip hop, so let me move on to acting. A lot of them hip hop pioneers end up doing that. The Ice and the T, okay? The LL and the Cool J. Is them motherfuckers still making albums? I don't think so. A lot of hip hop artists, once you stop making music, they end up going in front of the camera. Hey, if you got it, you got it, baby. Now we at the point where Heavy D is skinny. Everybody is awed. Is that Heavy D? What the fuck happened to him? Y'all, it was Skinny D. It scared me. I was like, is Heavy D sick? Is he sick? Is that him? I can now see why now that I'm older, because if you get into acting, you want to look smaller, because in front of the camera, child, you look way bigger than what you actually are. I know that for a fact. The other day, I looked at one of my videos and scared the fuck out of myself. In 2000, Heavy D had his daughter, Zaya. And sweetly enough, they had his daughter on there. She gladly called herself a daddy's girl. So in 2011, he appeared in a Michael Jackson tribute in London. He didn't like flying. And he damn sure didn't want to fly that long distance. Pete Rock said that. Now, the reason he said that was because when he touched back home, he went to see his daughter over his baby mother house. He told his baby mother, I don't feel right. I haven't been feeling right for a while. Okay, the baby mother said, I think I need you to go to the hospital. You know niggas, okay? They can have an arm hanging off and they won't go to the hospital. They'll spray some Windex on it and fucking tape it up with duct tape and be like, I'm back. Okay. On November 8th, 2011, a neighbor found Heavy D gasping for air outside of his home. He was taken to the hospital, but it was too late. Heavy D died at the age of 44. The official reason for death was a pulmonary embolism, which was a possible result of his plane ride from London. Now, if you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, because it is so important to my success here on the YouTube. Now, remember this. The same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. Naysayers, my patron loves. Babies, you better have a good one.